Hello, welcome to task 86. We are going to create a stronger hook. Let's go ahead and start a new document. I'm going to make my document in my classwork folder, and of course it will be called task 86, stronger hook, and I'm going to call it stronger hook 1 because I actually want us to make 2 examples of a stronger hook. So once I load, I'm going to make a sketch of the hook's profile on the front plane, which we've done several times at this point. That's our usual approach. We are going to use the line tool in order to create a nice tall line that shows most of the height of the hook that's going to be hanging down from over a door. Again, you are going to be defining your own measurements. You're not tied to the measurements in this example, but I'm just using some measurements that'll get me started. And the idea of picking your own measurements is you can take a look at what is needed in the space that you're designing for, what would best meet your needs, what would best fit within the constraints. And that's a skill that you need to develop with practice. So this is your chance to go ahead and practice it, which is why you don't want anyone to just tell you what to do. You want to figure it out. So now that we have our basic over the door profile, what we're going to do is make a hook at a bit of an angle and we're going to build out a thicker connection between the overhang and the body of the hook. So let me show you what I mean here. So I'm going to come out here by about an inch in this case, and this is going to be what I'm calling the body of the hook, the piece that you would actually hook something onto. So it's at about a 45-degree angle to the x-axis or the y-axis. Going to make it about 2 inches long here. And let me just move this. I'm going to move my dimensions so that they're not interfering or obscuring the lines that I'm making. I'm going to have a small point here, or a small face here where people can hang things. And again, I'm going to move my dimension so that I can see what I'm doing. And this is really the part that's quite different. We've had a lot of parallel lines in our hook design so far. And this time we're going to go not so parallel. And we're going to come out and do something that's kind of a bit thicker as it gets closer to the end that runs along the door. And that's because we want to make our hook a little bit thicker at this point because it's a stress point. This is an area that's going to be holding a bit of a load depending on what it's hung onto the hook. So making our hook a little bit thicker here might make it a bit stronger. So we're going to go ahead and go for that thicker line or thicker dimension here. And now I'm going to go back to using an offset to get a parallel line here. And let me see. I really want to use my offset with really just this line, not necessarily all of the others right now. So I'm going to go for about, let's say 0.3 thick. And then I'm going to want this to meet up with this, correct? So what I'm going to do is try something new, something called the tangent arc. We've used various arcs. This might be the first time we're using a tangent arc. And in order to use it, I'm going to click on the endpoint here and just carry my mouse over to that offset line. And I kind of get this nice curve where things meet up just right. I'm going to accept the dimension that I was given. That looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and make our other offsets. I'm going to make the thickness 0.1. I'm going to over here, I think we had 0.3 on the other side, so we'll try to keep that consistent. Now we want to start to close up any of these lines that are not connected yet. And I, of course, like to move my dimensions a bit out of the way. Okay, so what am I closing up? I think that there's a gap here. It's kind of hard to see because of the front plane and the dimension line here, but there's an opening. Let's use a line tool to close it. Great. Next, there's an opening here. So let's use our line tool. We'll make a point here and a point here, 2 lines, and that closes that gap. Just to sort of show you this tangent arc in action again, I'm going to use the tangent arc to close this other gap. It's coming out a little bit bigger than I expected. No, I don't think I'm going to do that. I'll go ahead and use my line tool. And now you can see we have closed all of the openings, and we therefore have a gray hook. Everything here is gray. Let's add a few finishing details. We can trim off any excess lines. So trim. Okay, I think those are just dimension lines. Let's trim this line. And let's go ahead and find a few places where we can smooth things out with a fillet, maybe here to here. Make it 0. Make that a really small fillet because it was complaining about the radius size. That's another really small fillet. And perhaps a very small fillet here. could be slightly bigger. Well, maybe not. Okay, so now that we have this hook with a thicker base here, a thicker connection, we can accept our sketch. We're going to extrude by 1 inch, as we have with our other hooks. And then we can add a few more fillets to just make things smoother. So you might want to add a fillet on either side of the hook face. Maybe the same thing in the back here. And of course, last but not least, we want to put our name on our sketch before we share it. I'm going to put my name on the front this time. I think I'll just put my initials on. And now we can go ahead and accept our sketch and extrude. That'll be a remove, and I'd say something like 0.05 would be good. Okay, so when you have completed your project, please do share it with me in Onshape using the share button in the upper right hand side of the screen. I would like to be able to 3D print some of your work, so please share the project with me so that I'll be able to create that 3D print. Thanks so much. Good luck with the project.